Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com, as well as the YouTube channel and NoDQ&A videos affiliate, ringsidenews.com. WrestleMania 31 weekend is drawing closer. I will be there in Santa Clara and San Jose to cover the Hall of Fame, WrestleMania 31 of course, and Raw the next night. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com for full coverage. Got your questions here from spring.me/AaronRift. Let's get started with the first one today from Yellow Storm. Since the Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns match is getting little momentum than it should and likely to flop, should Reigns or Lesnar do a move that neither of them are accustomed to have something memorable like a high-flying maneuver off a ladder? Well, I don't think they're going to be doing anything off a ladder since there's already a ladder match at WrestleMania. I talked about in previous videos possible stipulation matches for WrestleMania. There's always a chance WWE might add a no DQ stipulation to the match at the last minute in order to give it something extra to hopefully get the fans into the match. I've got a lot of questions about Lesnar and Reigns, what can be done to ensure that the crowd is into it. I got this question here from Sergeant Pepper 1996. Hey Aaron, first time asker from the UK, please answer in video. It looks like WWE are going to have some problems with the crowd in the Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar match. If you were booking, how would you combat the crowd and what would be your finish? Well, first thing I would do is I would not put this match on last. I think that doing that would be a huge mistake. As much as the WWE title should be the final match of the night, we've seen in previous years when the WWE title match has gone on last and it's not the match people want to see, it ends up dying and not getting over. I think what WWE needs to do is put this match on somewhere in the middle. The WrestleMania main event, the match that goes on last, needs to be the match that people care most about. Now, I know most people out there are saying the ladder match, but, you know, Sting versus Triple H or Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt. One of those matches should close out WrestleMania so you end the show on a high note. With Roman Reigns and Lesnar, I think it's best to put it on in the middle, especially if Roman Reigns is winning the title clean as a babyface. I think that it would be best to just get that over with, do it at the middle of the show. But if I was booking this match, if it was my call, it's hard to say because I definitely think for one hand, Brock Lesnar needs to lose. I think Roman Reigns needs to win the title and he needs to be crowned the champion. You need to go all the way with it. You've done so much with Roman Reigns, investing in him, building him up as the next top star. I think you need to go with him as champion, but the way they're doing it with him, trying to make him the new John Cena, that has definitely backfired. So if it was my call, I would turn Roman Reigns. I would have him win the match with some kind of shenanigans. I'm not sure what, if you do a Brock Lesnar screw job or if you have Paul Heyman turn on Brock Lesnar. The thing is, how do you do that and have it make sense? Paul Heyman has been there with Brock Lesnar for all these years now. How would you book that? I guess you could say that Roman Reigns paid Paul Heyman a tremendous amount of money and Paul Heyman can come out and say he loves Brock Lesnar. It was strictly a business decision to screw him over. He did it for the money. They can come up with something like that. And plus, I think Brock Lesnar would do very well as a babyface if he sticks around in WWE. So if he's leaving, you have Roman Reigns as the new top guy. If Brock Lesnar's staying, you can have him as babyface and he can come back and get his revenge on Roman Reigns sometime down the line. That's how I would do it. I would go with the Roman Reigns heel turn at WrestleMania and have him come out the next night on Raw and just completely rip into the fans, you know, call them a bunch of basement dwellers, the biggest gathering of virgins that he's ever seen in his life, you know, that sort of thing. Just be a complete, cocky, arrogant son of a bitch and just go in a different direction with the character. That's what I would do. But I think based on the fact that WWE's producing the new t-shirts for him, you know, I don't think they're giving up on him as Cena 2.0 or Diesel 2.0, as some people are pointing out. I think the likelihood is he wins the title at WrestleMania. And if that's the case, this match should definitely be in the middle of the card or, you know, not the last match. In fact, I would probably put both Triple H versus Sting and Undertaker versus Wyatt ahead of Reigns versus Lesnar on this particular card. All right, this one comes from SEPIKS. Hey Aaron, really liking the show. I was wondering, why does it seem like the WWE title match is being overshadowed by the US title match and Rollins versus Orton? Both of these matches have had better builds. Well, that's the thing too. The Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar build has been very disappointing, and a lot of it just has to do with the fact that Roman Reigns hasn't caught on as the main event act. And that's definitely a problem, and I think a lot of people are concerned that this match is not going to be very good. And with Brock Lesnar possibly leaving, we're going to have a repeat of Goldberg versus Lesnar. Paul Heyman's really done all he could do to get this match over. With Orton versus Rollins, it's been a long build. They started building this matchup back in November when they did the injury angle with Randy Orton getting hurt. This match has had a long build, and people know that this is almost certainly going to be a very good match. So you have the hype from the fans as well as the hype from WWE, and it's been a weekly storyline with Reigns and Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar hasn't been around that much, so there's been that. It's just the fact that Lesnar hasn't been around and Reigns hasn't really caught on, and that's why it's getting overshadowed by the other matches. That, you see a storyline every single week with guys that the fans are into. Alright, this one comes from Wrestling Doom 95. Yoran, do you think it will be more difficult for GFW to sign a TV deal with a network since they are a new wrestling promotion with unknown talent? Well, it's going to be difficult because TNA had a deal with Spike TV for several years. They were the #2 wrestling promotion in the United States, and they never really gained any kind of significant momentum. They stayed at that 1.0 to 1.2 rating, 2 million viewers. They never really got past that, and they never saw any kind of long-term growth, especially when they were bringing in the big names like Hogan and RVD and Ric Flair and so on and so forth. It wasn't making a difference. So when you're a television network and you see that TNA had all these big names and they didn't go anywhere, pro wrestling is just not very appealing regardless of the company, and certainly an upstart promotion that doesn't really have any kind of momentum going for it. GFW, Jeff Jarrett is yet to put on his own show. GFW was affiliated with New Japan, but he hasn't really done something in the United States with GFW yet. And until that happens, until he starts to build up a reputation and people can see that, this guy knows what he's doing, it's unlikely that any kind of network out there is going to take a risk on professional wrestling, especially one that hasn't been established. All right, this one comes from CPW 1978. Aaron, do you think Lana's brief departure to film a movie will cause Rusev to lose? If they split on TV, will Rusev fall to mid-card comedy role? Would Lana start wrestling or be casted to Total Divas? Well, her being gone right now to work on the WWE movie has nothing to do with WWE's decision about Rusev and him winning or losing at WrestleMania. She really has no role in that. The bottom line is Cena already lost at Fastlane, and I would be shocked beyond belief if John Cena lost again at WrestleMania. WWE still relies on John Cena as the top guy, and even though he's in the U.S. title match, he's still John Cena. He's still the guy that's moving the most numbers, moving the most merchandise and all that. The story that's being told is John Cena is getting payback for America. WWE's not going to have a disappointing ending to this. They're going to have the happy ending. John Cena is going to overcome the evil Russian, win the U.S. title, and you're going to have that feel-good moment, America on top, yeah, whatever. That's what they're doing. So to me, the decision was already made. I mean, when they put this feud together, we talked about this months ago. I brought up on the videos that Rusev will probably end up losing to Cena if those two end up having a match together, and especially if John Cena isn't in the main event, they got to have something big for him. John Cena has to have a special moment at WrestleMania, and this is what it's going to be here: him beating the evil Russian and winning the U.S. title. How long he has the U.S. title, that remains to be seen. And where Rusev goes, regardless of what happens with Lana, I mean, Rusev, I think once this whole storyline is done, I don't see where he goes from there. I mean, he could challenge Roman Reigns if Roman Reigns is the babyface champion. But beyond that, I don't know what else they're going to do with him. And I think 6 months to a year from now, he's going to be in the Great Khali babyface role as just being a comedy wrestler. Same thing as Kozlov. He had his run as the monster 4 and heel. Then he was just a comedy act, and then he disappeared. All right, this one comes from Nightwisher91. Hey Aaron, please answer in video. Do you agree that the build-up to WrestleMania 31 has been horrendous so far? I think it's too late to turn it around. Well, it's definitely been one of the weaker WrestleMania build-ups in the last several years, but they still have one more week to go, and the go-home show is really the most important one. So it's going to be all hands on deck. I'm sure they're going to go all out with the build, and it's going to be an interesting show. And I think that WWE will deliver a solid build for WrestleMania with this final Raw. I mean, WWE has always done a tremendous job with hype over the years. I mean, that's one thing they're great at, is hyping up WrestleMania. And because of that, because they're so good at it, a lot of times the show ends up falling flat because WWE just can't live up to their own hype with the show. This year, I mean, expectations are low, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that way, you know, if we're all not expecting a tremendous show and it just ends up being a good show, we'll think it's better than it's been in other years. Is it too late to turn it around? Absolutely not. I mean, whatever happens on Monday, you know, you have Sting on the show, you do some big confrontation with Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, you know, it could very well turn things around, and the key is to get people excited that last week before WrestleMania. If WWE can pull it off, you know, I think they're definitely capable of it, and I don't think it's too late. I think they can turn it around, and by this Monday's Raw, I expect something big to go down, and people will be excited for WrestleMania. All right, this one comes from Kyle Mitchell 84. Hey Aaron, I don't mean to slight you or your website, as I enjoy both, but please answer my question in video. With websites like yours and how internet fans have become, are there any true surprises left in the wrestling business? Well, first off, you don't have to go on NoDQ.com or other websites to get information about what's going on in WWE. I mean, it's not necessary. You just don't need to do it if you want to be surprised. You know, for shows like Walking Dead, I don't go on websites trying to get information about what they're planning for Walking Dead and, you know, potential spoilers for all that. So it's just a matter of if you like knowing the information and it doesn't bother you at all, then you do it. If you don't want to be spoiled, you stay away from those kind of websites. You know, it is becoming a bigger problem with social media now. The fact that spoilers can get out and, you know, things can trend on Twitter, and you know, it's just the way things have gone. But if you really don't want to be spoiled for something, you know, you don't have to be on the internet. You don't need to be on Facebook or Twitter or NoDQ.com. You know, you can just, you know, stay away, and especially if a big show's coming up like WrestleMania, you know, just take a break from the internet for a while. I mean, why do you have to be on the internet 24/7 reading Facebook and reading NoDQ.com? I mean, it's not something you have to do. For me personally, I mean, sometimes I don't mind knowing what's going to happen because, you know, to me, it's how you tell the story and how you get to the point. If you know the end result, you know, that's whatever. But as long as you have a good story being told and it's interesting getting to that point, even if you know what it is, it's still entertaining. You know, like with Breaking Bad. I mean, it was pretty obvious Walter White was going to die eventually, but it's how you get to that point that is interesting. So with WWE and WrestleMania, I mean, yeah, it does hurt a little bit when you know the outcome, but if the story's told well, you know, it's not so bad. The problem is that the writing in WWE has been at perhaps its lowest point in history. I mean, a lot of people would argue that. WWE hasn't really told very intriguing stories, and then that's a major problem as well, not just the fact that things are leaked. In fact, I'd rather have things leaked. I'd rather have the outcome be predictable and the story is intriguing and told well, rather than trying to swerve people and you know, just try to keep people guessing, but then you have a story that doesn't make any sense. So that'll do it for this edition of No DQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching, and I will see you guys next time for more.